Okay. Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. The Village of Silverton acknowledges the Indigenous peoples on whose traditional territories we stand. We do have an addition of a late item. We have Slocan Valley Economic Development Partnership late item. Can I get somebody to move the recommendation? We move that to be added to the agenda. I don't see Councillor Main's video there. Councillor Broughton, seconded by Councillor Main.
Yeah, sorry, I am here.
Yeah, okay, good. Good. And all in favor? Guess it's just the three of us, so all in favor. Okay. Adoption of the agenda for the regular council meeting as amended. Can I get somebody to move that?
So moved.
Councillor Main, seconded by Councillor Broughton. All in favor? Carried. Okay, we got some minutes that have to be changed to correct resolution numbers. So can I get somebody to move that the recommendation that the minutes of January 31st meeting be adopted as corrected to show the correct resolution numbers, and that the minutes of February 12th regular council meeting be adopted as presented, and that the meeting minutes of February 18th be adopted as presented?
So moved.
Councillor Broughton, seconded by Councillor May.
Second.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, we don't have any delegations. On to new business. We have a recommendation that the CAO be authorized to sign the contribution agreement for Columbia Basin Trust REACH funding. Can I get somebody to move?
Move that.
Councillor Main, seconded by Councillor Broughton. Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor? Carried. We got some website upgrades. So it's a little bit different than what is on the agenda there. I have a recommendation that the CAO is authorized to contract with Catalyst for the provision of a website platform and associated implementation costs for a 3-year term at a cost of $20,102.
20,102. So moved.
Seconded by Councillor Brown. Any discussion?
Just a
Councillor
comment, if I may. It seems like a big chunk of money, but I think it will absolutely be worth it in terms of people being able to access documents, of us being able to produce documents and keep them in an organized fashion. I'm fully in favor of this.
Thanks for your comments, Leah. Okay. Do just to be clear? Okay. Any further discussion? No further discussion, Don? Nope. All in favor? Carried. Okay, we have a recommendation that Childs Chatton be appointed as the Village of Silverton's auditor for the 2024 fiscal year. Can I get somebody to move? Councillor Broughton, seconded by Councillor Main.
Second. Any
discussion?
I think so.
No discussion? All in favor? Carried. Okay, on to Slocan Lakes Arts Council. So we have a recommendation that staff be directed to meet with the Slocan Lake Arts Council to develop a plan for the future of the Silverton Gallery. Can I get somebody to move?
So moved.
Councillor Broughton, seconded by Councillor Main.
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion? Councillor Main, go ahead.
I think the supporting documentation is pretty clear as to the necessity of working these things out and coming up with a plan that works for both the village and the society. So it's kind of a no-brainer. Let's go for it.
Sounds great. Okay. And Don, any comments?
Not at the moment. No, I think we need to get something solved here.
Absolutely. So all in favor? Carried. Okay, on to the Economic Development Partnership. This is Leah's late item, that the Village of Silverton supports the extension of the Slocan Valley Economic Development Contract between Community Futures and the Regional District of Central Kootenai. Councillor Main will move.
Yes, I will move it.
Councillor Broughton, second. Yep. And did you want to have a discussion?
Yeah,
Councillor Broughton, go ahead.
well, because this was just brought up, I haven't even had time to really check it out. Is this something we have to deal with right now, or can this be,
If I
can
may.
this be dealt with later, or is this more of an urgent?
I'll let Councillor Main answer that.
Yeah, there is a time delimitation on it. This does not involve an increase in our requisition for this support. It is to join into a contract for a grant-funded extension of economic development activities throughout the Slocan Valley. Our requisition through the Slocan Valley Economic Development Commission will remain stable. There's been no change in that. But it just makes us party to the continuation of the efforts.
Okay, thanks. Let me see you, Alloy.
I can add to that the current agreement is going to expire at the end of March, which is before our next regularly scheduled council meeting. So that's the justification for kind of rushing through this item of business at this meeting, even though it was added as a late item.
Thank you. Okay. Any further discussion? See no further discussion, all in favor? Carried. Thank you.
Yeah.
We got some correspondence for information. Can I get somebody to move that we have received that?
You don't
I don't have to do that?
You don't technically require a motion. If it appears on the agenda for information, it's deemed to have been received. So you can absolutely have a resolution if that's council's wish, but it's not required.
Okay, so we received it and then we'll move on. Council reports. I have nothing to report this week or this month. Councillor Broughton?
I did go to the AGM of the Housing Society, and they elected their board of directors and such, which is pretty much the same as they were plus one. So they would like apparently to have 11 directors, but I think they now have 6. Other than that, it's been very quiet.
Great, thanks, Don. Councillor May?
Yeah, I will go through, not in great detail, but since February 18th, I attended the Community Sustainable Living Advisory Committee where we received staff updates on watershed governance initiatives, Slocan Lake and River Partnership, the Weimer Watershed Natural Asset Management Project, Central Food Policy Council, Regional Invasive Species Plan, and received a full report on the geothermal project on the east shore of Kootenai Lake that is developing templates for other areas to potentially be able to do geothermal tapping and use that heat for economic undertakings such as greenhouse technologies. So it's not going to give us like immediate payback, but it's looking good for in the near future. Joint Resource Recovery Committee, where we approved the purchase of new haulage trucks for the Central Resource Recovery area to replace aging vehicles that are starting to break down frequently and to increase the haulage capacity so that we have to make fewer trips. We received hydrogeology and hydrology reports for several facilities, including the Urashania landfill, and reviewed and did preliminary approval of budgets for refuse and recycling and in East, West, and Central, and organics in Central and West. February 20th, the RDCK Board of Directors, we appointed an emergency program executive committee comprised of Director Vandenberg, Director Hewitt, and Director Weatherhead, along with the board chair and vice chair, CAO Horn, and Manager of Community Sustainability, Dan Sagan. We approved a budget for Indigenous Relations workshops for directors and staff in 2025. Had a long discussion around the BC Building Code where we resolved to request a minister meeting at UBCM to clarify the extent and timing of frequent and repeated building code changes. We received a letter from Recreation Sites and Trails BC wherein they declined to take on the management of the Galena Trail, unfortunately. February 26th was the budget presentation for our area up in New Denver. Shared Services Committee on February 27th, where the four Slocan Valley directors met and reviewed the services that we share with each other. I also attended on February 28th a provincial Zoom meeting on reforming the Local Government Act, and where they were getting some input from local governments towards one of the things they're looking at is starting to incorporate regional districts under the community charter, which has not yet happened. Those are my highlights. And right now I'm in Vancouver at the Local Government Leadership Academy Forum for local government representatives. And we are having 3 days of intensive workshops and presentations.
Thank you, Leah, and thanks for being here tonight.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Okay, on to administration reports. Nope, on to bylaws. Can I get somebody to move the recommendation that the fees and charges amendment bylaw number 550, 2020 be
Sorry, 2025.
2025 be read a first, second, and third time?
So moved.
Councillor Main, seconded by Councillor Broughton. Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor?
I accept them as drafted.
Okay. All in favor? Carried. On to public input period. Anybody have anything they would like to add?
Just here in case you had questions about that briefing.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for being here. Anybody online have any questions or comments? Seeing no questions or comments, I will ask for a motion to, pursuant to section 90.1 of the community charter, that the meeting held tonight be closed to the public on the basis of the subject matter of all agenda items to be considered related to matters listed under 90.1A, personal information about identifiable individual who holds or being considered for a position as an officer, employee, or agent. Councillor Main, seconded by Councillor Broughton. All in favor? Carried. Thank you.
All that web story out.